You practice, I make progress. It's the Postman. You're listening to me on the 3 Count Podcast.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. As you can see, we just all branded out today. That's just what we're going to do from now on. But it's not about me. This is Now Entering the Ring, which means one thing. We have a special guest for you. This man can be found on EHF. You can find this man on GLWA, and you can find this man on PWK. He is one half of the Mosh. Give it up for Kyle Shaddix.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, man, I'm so hyped. Thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah. I am excited. I apologize if I seem a little low energy. It's really hot in my apartment. So
oh man, yeah, it was crazy. The last
up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last couple of days, over here in Maryland, it's been in the 70s. It's nice weather, but then the cloud cover comes over and you're like, oh, but it's muggy.
Oh yeah, I feel that. I live in an apartment right now where everyone still has their heat on because they're still cold for some reason, and I live on the 3rd floor, so it's all rising up, and I'm about to just walk downstairs and start pounding on doors and start handing out neck breakers, turn your heat off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm tired of waking up sweaty. Someone is about to get hurt because of it.
Yeah, I know. Just listen, okay? Right. I have no clothes. The windows are open. The heat's still coming up.
Yep.
Y'all about to cash this beat down.
Oh yeah, for sure. I swear, I'm did y'all watch WrestleMania? Well, guess what? You're in. It's happening now.
Welcome to Apartment Mania. That's right? What's going down.
Exactly. 3rd Floor Wrestling presents. It's going on.
I like that though. Because it's crazy enough. I live in an apartment complex too, but my wife was like, "There's no way we're living on the top floor, so get us a ground floor unit." And they got us a ground floor unit, so I was like, "Hey, I can't even be mad."
Yeah, we weren't so lucky there.
All right. Well, first question I'm going to ask you right off the bat, man, is who is Kyle Shaddix?
Who is Kyle Shaddix? I mean, if you've ever looked at a kid in Hot Topic and you went, "That dude's name is probably Kyle." That's me. Monster can in hand, literally always. Hair green from drinking so damn much of it. We're talking about the embodiment of anything punk rock. If you grew up in the early 2000s, you played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and you just decked out the Create-A-Skater dude with the weirdest, wildest stuff, that's me. That's who I am.
Yo, I like that actually because I think that's right down my time span. So I'm just
oh yeah, dude. Ska punk. If you've got Tony Hawk's, you've got that game going, and you've got Goldfinger Superman playing, I'm in the back of your head. That's me.
Nice.
I'm that dude getting hyped to that song for you if you're not already that hyped. That's me.
All right, then I'm just curious, man. Between if you had to choose between Good Charlotte and Linkin Park, who's the choice?
Okay, so that's rude to ask people that. I don't know. I would probably go Linkin Park anyway. As much as I love that look that Good Charlotte cultivated, that sound that they went with, as much as I love all that, you can't top Chester Bennington's the GOAT, man. That dude, you're not hearing anyone else screaming for 17 seconds that's not in a deathcore band. So I'm gonna go with Linkin Park on that one.
I'll be fair, man, because I remember when both those albums dropped, Good Charlotte's with the anthem and as well as Hybrid Theory, and I was just a massive fan of both groups. And I was I think it was 2001, 2002. My friends asked me if you had to choose, who would you choose? And I'm well, I've listened to Hybrid Theory all the way through, so I'm gonna go with that one.
Right.
But yeah, so I was like, I feel you know what? But both elite when they both came out. I definitely can
absolutely.
Relate. And you have all sorts of other groups too that just came out in that same time span that were just amazing.
I mean, yeah, you got Sum 41 popping up around then. Bowling for Soup. Oh man, that was my jam because of that time frame. I was young. We were a tiny Kyle Shaddix back then, and that was my guys, man. I saw them live when I was young. Bowling for Soup was lit. That was my shit right there.
Yeah, I could definitely Bowling for Soup was definitely on my playlist. I'm not gonna lie. Yellow Card was also in
Yellow
there.
Card. Okay, yeah. Let's get sad for a moment and sing some Ocean Avenue. Yeah,
Yeah.
like definitely play some Only One.
Oh yeah, and then Sum 41. Like you're right. Like right on the you're like speaking like
Oh, man.
directly my language. Of,
Oh
like,
man,
what I listen to.
21 years old, walk into a bar for the first time ever, and they have a karaoke night, and I was like, I'm gonna go sing "Fat Lip" by Sum 41. We're gonna see how this goes. Like, yeah, I feel it. That is
That's
all
awesome.
right. We're gonna get along.
All right, man. Oh, I'll be honest, man. Here's like another throwback one too. For me, it was AFI, Miss Murder.
Okay.
Like, just
Okay, so like,
just wailing away.
yes. See, I was introduced to AFI as like AFI was the most emo type thing I had ever seen. I was like, all right, this dude is sad. This man is like, he's just going on in the most. And then like someone poses to me and they tell me like they're telling me all this. They're like, dude, AFI was like a punk band before like that era. And then I had to go back and like listen to AFI, and I was like, oh, no way, like total genre swap. Like, oh crap. All right. Like, yeah, so that blew my mind. Like, oh man.
Yep. We're just like walking right down memory lane. Like, oh yeah.
It's just pure nostalgia. Like, I wish I still had my like iPod Nano right now.
I wish I still had my lip ring before I joined the military, because like that's why like I was like
nice. Never got any piercings, but did join the military, so I feel you.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Like, I got to know though, like, what brought you into the business, though?
What brought me into the business, man? That story could change a million times, just because it's like there's no one thing that brought me into the business. It seems like it's like I had gotten home from deployment in 2016, and I didn't know what I wanted to do because I was getting out of the military in 2017, and I was like, what is going on? Like, like I'm trying to kind of figure out what life is going to be like without the military, which has been part of my life for the past 6 years. Like, I had joined up when I was in my junior year of high school, and then I went through basic training right after senior year, and from there on out, like that was always a part of my life. That was kind of what the plan was going forward. Then I get to the end of my 6 years, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, I don't really want to re-up. I just kind of want to see what life has. And then my buddy's like, hey dude, like I just do this wrestling stuff and we need a ring announcer. And he was like, do you want to do it? You're like the most hyped dude I know. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I show up, there's a ring, like people are just dropping each other on their heads, like people are beating each other up like crazy, man. I'm like, okay, like I can get behind this. And then like slowly it started turning into more than just like me being involved in just the ring announcing. I was like, there was people who were like, yo, I want to do a spot where like when you're trying to announce the winner of the match after I lose, like I'm gonna super kick you off the ring apron and like I'm gonna do this type of stuff. And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then like I got super kicked off of a ring apron and was like, yep, we're doing this. Like we're gonna just go full bore into this and we're gonna try wrestling. And then 2018 came along. That's when I really got into it, like debuted somewhat on the indies, if you want to. Like I wasn't fully trained. I kind of had like maybe a couple training sessions under my belt. And yeah, from then on, I just went with it. It all started at ring announcing.
That's awesome. It's interesting too, because you mentioned you were prior military. What branch?
I was in the Army National Guard. And so like I joined, like I said, right out of high school, and I was a computer guy. I went for I was 25 Bravo, 25 Quebec reclass after that, which was information technology specialist into like multi-channel systems, operator maintainer. So I went and did that. That kind of was just the thing that I thought I was going to do forever. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to always work on computers and radios, like in some way, shape, or form. And then now here we are, 4 years later, and I'm not even doing that. I don't even remember how a computer works now. I'm like, nope, I'm out, man.
I would say I was active duty Air Force.
Okay.
6 years. Actually, it's crazy because you were talking about you getting out in 2016. I was actually in from 06 to 12.
Oh, okay, nice.
But I did Intel, and so
all right,
guys, it would have been like 25 golf, 25 hotel.
So, okay.
Right in imagery side. But yeah. So like I definitely was like like hearing like you talk about it and like there's like a little bit of of crossover there. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I deployed to an air base in Jordan. That was pretty cool. Like, so I got to meet a lot of Air Force guys that way. Y'all have fun jobs, man. Like,
Well, it's like we always talk about it and we openly joke about it, right? It's like different branches, right? And to our listeners and viewers, you guys will start to understand what we're talking about here in a second. But when it comes to like Army, like you're a soldier first and then your whatever job is needed, right? And then like in the Marines the same way. Like you're a Marine, you're always gonna be a Marine, but then like you have your other job. And then like in the Air Force, it's you have a job and then you're an airman.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah. We always just joked about how we're like they get all this money to build bases, and they build all the stuff for like troops first when it comes to the Air Force. They're like, nah, we're gonna put a movie theater and like we're gonna put all this stuff in. And these guys are gonna get all this stuff, and they're gonna get like a Michelin Gold Star restaurant for their DFAC. And meanwhile, the Army's like, all right, well, we're gonna build all the training stuff first, and with whatever's left, we're gonna put them in a barracks. And if not, well, there's a tent somewhere they can use that. Like,
yeah, they're like, hey, here's a great idea. So like this is something that really like gets under like a lot of people in the military skin is like so like for me, I lived in the dorms for like the first I think like 2 years of when I first I was stationed in Hawaii. So my first 2 years of Hawaii, I was in the dorms, but it was just me. And I know like a bunch of people like the Army, they're like, yo, there were 6 of us, man.
Yep. Like throughout like my training and stuff, it was always like no more than 6, no less than 2 to a room, unless you were in like an open bay type thing. But then like, yeah, once you got into like on deployment, like finally I was in like a 2-man chew. That's where I stayed and was in a 2-man there. And I was like, okay, that's one thing. But like before that, I was living in like a 15-person tent in the middle of the desert. And I'm just like, okay, I don't like this one bit. Like, if it's not the jets taking off like 40 feet that way, it's this dude snoring so freaking loud he's breaking the sound barrier himself.
Like, yeah, you know what, I can relate because when I was in Iraq, like that was the thing. Like I was in a trailer with 8 dudes like in there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is what we're doing. I'm like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna ignore everybody and throw a sheet down over top of my bunks. No one can looking at me.
Make the Jack Shack, bro. You got to make the Jack Shack. I feel you.
All right, man. So curious, man. Like you said, like you got super kicked, after making a ring announcement. And some people would hit you up with spots. But I'm just curious, man. Like, what's been like one of the worst bumps you've taken?
The worst bump I've taken. So the worst bump I've taken was surprisingly like it was right after I got back from wrestling school of all things. So like I had gone for 3 months. I was down at Black and Brave in Davenport, Iowa. I learned everything I needed to learn, at least for that time. I come back, these guys, great workers that I work with, but just for the sake of everything, I'm going to leave their names out. They're like, all right, we're going to hit you with our finish. And our finish is like a spine buster cutter combo. And so like I go up, I'm posting for the spine buster. The tag partner comes around and hits me with the cutter. And as I'm like coming down, his shoulder kind of got pushed into the back of my head and the timing was off. And it just like I don't know, pushed my chin basically into my solar plexus, and like just this white hot like pain shot right through my body. Like it wasn't a terrible botch. Like, like I'm not mad about any of it now. It just, that was probably the worst bump I had taken, because I was like, okay, like on like camera it looked good. Like, we look back at the match film, you're like, that looks great. But like, no, I laid out after the match was over. Like we were the main event that night, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just hearing people like, oh, is he okay? And I'm just laid there like Moxley at the end of an AEW episode. I'm just dead. I'm like, oh no, we're in pain.
we're a lot of pain. Of pain.
But if like you're just talking about like a regular move that's like the worst bump ever, man, anything that requires a high school boy bump, like taking a choke slam or something like that, probably one of those, or maybe a blockbuster from the top rope, just anything that's got me in the air much higher than I like to be and then landing on my back. Those are the ones that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually my favorite bump. Is
Yeah.
a lot of people look at me kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, I'll throw myself up for a choke slam and no
Oh
problem.
yeah, like and that's the thing is like in a match, I'm like, yes, like let's do it. The fans are gonna eat that up, and then like right after it happens, I'm like, you idiot! Why do you tell people you love that? Like that's the big thing is like I'll put it all on the line for a show, and then like at the end, my girlfriend and I will be driving home at the end of the show, and she'll be like, "Why did you do half of that?" And I'm gonna be like, "Look, I don't know, something about the fans cheering and being happy about it and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. Like, yeah, I'll put my body through hell for that.
Yeah,
Like,
that adrenaline rush it's there. Like it's
oh yeah,
real.
oh yeah. It's like there's 250 people out there shouting my name. Of course, I'm gonna do some wild stuff. Like, like they paid to see something good. I can't leave them, feeling like they didn't get their money's worth.
Yeah, what's funny, man, is because like I tell people like I was talking to people about that, like the different types of adrenaline rushes that you get, because like obviously like being deployed is like one kind of adrenaline rush, but like
Mm-hmm.
hearing crowds, like I was like, man, it doesn't like one, it doesn't get any better than that, but two, like being overseas, like I was on a constant state of alert, but
Yeah.
when you hear that one crowd member like just cheer you on, you're like,
Yep.
yeah, I see.
Yep. Yep. And you make that eye contact. My favorite is like when you're hitting your intro, you're getting your big pops because everybody's like, oh yeah, it's them. They're my favorite guy. And you just like you make eye contact with that kid who like it's their first wrestling show. And you just kind of like give them the point and the head nod, and you just like from then on, they're like, yup, like they want your shirt, they want to watch everything you do, they want to go to every single one of your shows. They're bugging their parents for allowance money to go see your show and buy your shirt. Like those are my favorite moments because that person genuinely likes what you do.
Yep.
And that's just like this wholesome, awesome adrenaline rush there. Like I love that.
Yeah, I can't front. I'm a huge like I have sometimes I see like there's like this one kid like over in West Virginia where I was wrestling at, and I was up on the top and I saw the same thing, and I saw that kid. I made the connection, and I was just
Yep.
like, dude, this is the greatest thing in the whole entire world.
I absolutely love every bit of this. Yeah, like when me and Devin we were doing our tag team stuff. We were the tag team champions over at EHF, and took our belts. And there was this one fan who loved us every single show. She would come with her parents and her brother, and we were just like, here, hold our belts while our matches are going on. Like, this is you got to just make that connection, man. Like something that a lot of people you don't get to feel it doing a lot of things like your day-to-day work. You don't get to feel that type of connection with people, so I try to get the most out of it that I can when I'm in that element.
That's boss, man. So I'm curious, man. Like we keep talking about like worst things that happen, but I just need to know like what's been the hardest you've ever been hit in a ring?
The hardest I've ever been hit in the ring, man, like it's hard to think because I look back at it, I'm like, everybody hits hard, man. There's no one guy, but nah, there is one guy. Goes by the name of Celtic Nightmare. He works around here. Man, this man is a giant, just like Irish silverback. This man is like he'll throw clotheslines that like if if you just if you hesitate 1 second on taking that bump, like that man will take your head clean off. He's got a mean clothesline. I'll probably have to give it to him. Like between that or if you watch the indies at all and the one called Manders, Steve Manders, that man during wrestling school, he was down there and we were doing chop training. Whew. He chopped me something fierce, man. Like my whole pec was purple for like 3 days, 4 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, man. Like since we got to get away from like all like the hard stuff, man. So like after your match, right? Like we all have like that one like post match meal that we got to get. Like what is your post match meal?
Gas station egg rolls. Gas station egg rolls smack on a level that is unknown to mankind. Like on the way to and on the way back. The second I get my envelope from the booker, I go right to the car as soon as teardown is done, and we get going. And I look for the first like good gas station that's and you know, like the swanky gas stations. Like I'm talking like the big time speedways or like, you know, something good out that way. I don't really know exactly what you got. You got Sheets out where you're at? Like,
Yeah, well, Sheets and Wawa's like also.
Yeah. So you hit up one of those, you know, those real good swanky gas station convenience store like stops. Walk to that roller grill, and if I find even the hint of a fucking egg roll, if I find an egg roll, dude, I'm taking it. That is my thing, dude. I cannot not eat a gas station egg roll after a show. Don't know why. Most people look at me like I'm a psychopath. They're like, do you know what's in that? I'm like, nope, don't care, dude. Like, gas station cabbage? Sure, I don't care. I'm going to eat it.
100% deliciousness. That's what's
yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. Like, the electrolytes I need are in this right now.
This is what's going to get me home.
Exactly. Like, this is what puts belts around waists, all right, is gas station egg rolls.
Yeah, yes. So we kind of like touched on our like fan interactions and stuff like that. It's like things that we have. But I'm just very curious, man. Like, do you have a favorite story that you've had from a fan interaction?
Absolutely, I do. So we were working at Rocket Pro Wrestling down in Joliet, Illinois. It's the Mosh's debut, and they want the Mosh to be very rude, very mean, very evil. And I'm like, I can do that. Like, I can do that. That's easy. I'm mean to people all the time. Let's go. And so we walk through the curtain, and people kind of give us that look, you know, when you're the new guys debuting in a place, they don't know you. And if you're not running out of that gate full of hot fire, they're not going to cheer. So we didn't run out with hot fire. We just stepped out and kind of looked disgusted at everybody. And as soon as we start walking along, everybody's like kind of just not sure what to say. This kid reaches his hand out to shake my hand. I look down at him and I'm just like, don't touch me, poser. And like, keep walking. And like his mom, boo, like instantly they're booing us. They're so mad. And we get onto the apron and we're starting to like, you know, we've built our fire. Devin's gone around his side of the ring and those people are all mad. It was like, from the entranceway all the way around the ring, it was a slow wave of boos that were just starting to get louder and louder. We get onto the ring apron, and this dude is screaming. He's out of his seat screaming at us like we hadn't even done anything yet. And so I was like, do you want to get your ass kicked? And he's like, what? Like, he starts screaming back at me. I'm like, I sit down, I open the ropes up for him. I'm like, come on, man. Come on in here. You're tough, right? Like, you're sitting here telling me that you'd beat me up? Come on. Like, let's go. And this man damn near jumped a barricade. Like, he came up to the barricade and was screaming. And I was like, Devin, we might be in trouble. And he was like, then we're doing our job. Like, we had that room hot, like just so mad. Like, and when that match started, the second I got punched in the face, boos. Like, just or like not boos, but yays. As soon as like one of us got hit, that crowd was electrified. They were glad to see us get our asses whooped until we won. And then they got really mad again.
That's awesome.
That's a great time. That's my favorite, like one of my all-time favorite promotions, like as far as working heel went. That was it right there. Those fans were mad and I loved them for it.
That's good though. Like you said, you're doing your job if people are booing you.
Oh yeah. And that's what I strive for all the time. I'm like, well, I gotta be bleeding or they gotta be booing, and something's gotta be right in that area there. Like, that's where we need this to go.
All right, man. Well, then my question for you now is going to be, what kind of advice would you have for like up and coming wrestlers?
Well, I'm pretty new myself, man, so I'm seeking advice all the time. But if there was one thing that I would have to say, without a doubt, 100% on advice, is just leave your ego like in your car when you pull your gear bag out. Like, you might know better than somebody. It's very possible. Some people have bad advice, but you're not better than anybody. Like, if someone's giving you criticism, they care about you. And so take that, whether you apply it, whether you don't, that's whatever. But leave your ego somewhere and just be kind. Like, there's too many of these instances where there's heated backstage, like locker room heat, and there's all these politics and all this, that, and the other thing. Just leave your ego at the floor, or like at the door, man. Leave it on the floor somewhere. Just, it's gonna get in the way more than it's gonna help you. Like, if that's your gimmick, then please have an ego. But like, when you walk back behind the curtain at the end of the day, leave it. Like, just, you're not better than somebody who's just out in the ring working on rolls and practicing bumps. Just leave the ego somewhere. I don't know. That's probably my one thing, because it's just, that's what's going to leave you, or that's what's going to drag you down, is the ego. Is eventually you're going to think, well, I'm too good for this. I'm too good for that. It's like, man, who knows? Your whole great, awesome career could come tumbling down, and here you are back to working at some like small time indie fed. You never know who you're going to need. So don't have an ego about it.
No, that's great advice. That's super great advice, man.
Like, that's what I try to abide by. Like, I don't try to skate by on like, oh, I know this person, or I've wrestled here. Like, so have plenty of other people. Like, you know, that's just what I think there. That's probably the one advice I could give. That, and do the drives. Get on the road. I get it. COVID right now, not such an easy task, but do the drives, put the work in. Promoters are going to see it. Like, if you tell a promoter, I drove all the way from Michigan and now you're at a show in Tennessee, they're going to be like, that dude is a workhorse. That dude came all the way to our show from Michigan just to put up a ring. Like, I might book that guy. And then now your name's known in Tennessee and your name's known in Michigan. Like, it's something like that. Like, you just got to leave the ego and get on the road.
That's great. That's great. So, okay, seeing how you said like you're pretty new yourself, I just need one do and one don't of the locker room.
One do of the locker room. Even if you don't shake everyone's hand, make contact with everybody. Like, I get it. Not everybody likes to shake people's hands. Not everybody's a touchy-feely kind of guy. Cool. Yeah, whatever. Make contact with everybody on the show. Like, everybody in that locker room is putting their body on the line just like you are. Make sure that they feel respected for that. The promoter's giving you a chance. Make them feel respected for that. You know, the ring announcer, he's out there just as big a part of the show. He didn't botch your intro and say your name wrong. Give him respect for that. The commentary, they're doing the same thing. If you messed up a move, they're putting you over and trying to cover it up on tape. They're just trying to, you know, they won't say you botched. They're going to be like, oh, innovative offense. Yeah. Thank them for that. Thank the sound guy. Thank everyone, because without them, you're just some dude in tights grabbing another dude in tights rolling around in a ring. So thank everybody that makes the show happen. The biggest don't is don't do the opposite of what I just said. Like, don't ignore people, don't snub people. And then also quit taking up so much damn space in the locker room. If your gear bag stretches out across like half the locker room and you've just got your shit slung everywhere, I'm going to say something. Like, most locker rooms are cramped. Like, we don't have room for you to put all your gear just slung all over the place. Keep your shit in one spot. And don't stink. Take a shower. Like, God. And clip your nails. Like, hygiene. Like, I go straight back to like being an NCO in the military all over again. I'm like, no, don't stink. Change your socks. Drink water. Put on deodorant. Like, that's
dress right dress. Let's go.
Yeah, I swear. Like, I'll be like, the promoter is walking back here. Do you think he wants this venue smelling like a bag of ass? No. Take a shower before you show up. Like, wear body spray if you have to after your match. Something, but God, don't stink. Like,
hey, learn to soldier shower. That's what you gotta do. Grab some wipes, man.
Yep. Grab baby wipes, man. Just hit up a sink, grab a washcloth, hit up a sink, bird bath it. Like you gotta, yeah. I hate that. I hate like walking into a room. Like, I just show up for the show. I show up early. Like, I'm trying to be at shows before the ring is set up. And like, I'll walk into locker room sometimes. And I'm like, it stinks back here. Why? No one's even done anything yet. Like, why does it smell this way? That's my biggest don'ts. Is just, don't make people feel disrespected and don't smell bad, because then I'll feel disrespected.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's kind of all of our hard-hitting questions, but we got to get into the second best segment of the 3 Count Podcast, and that is the 3 Count Podcast 10 count questions. And here's how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. It's whatever first comes to mind.
Oh, God. All right.
So we're going to put on the imaginary timer. Bing. And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
Favorite movie?
Oh, you're evil. Dude, where's my car? I don't know.
Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Mortal Kombat. Get over here.
Yeah. 3 things that you would take with you on an island.
3 things that I will take with me on an island. Some form of caffeine, so pretty much all Monster. A reflective surface like a mirror of some sort, and a pocket knife.
See, hey man, I like that. Reflective surface. We gotta get some cars going.
Yeah.
Let's see, DC or Marvel?
Marvel, bro. I've got Venom and Carnage on me. Punisher tattoos. We're going Marvel.
Let's go. Favorite karaoke song?
Favorite karaoke song? Probably Rap God. It's too fun. I can hit it, so it's too fun.
Bart Simpson or Eric Cartman?
Eric Cartman, man. I mean, like, he's garbage by PC standards today. He's garbage. Man, he pops me. The true heel of my childhood.
He really is.
Especially with my name being Kyle.
Yeah, okay, knock it off.
Right.
Favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast? I'm probably gonna get some heat for this one, but actually no, I'm not. Scared to Death, probably my all-time favorite podcast. As far as non-wrestling stuff goes, pretty spooky stuff there. I like it. I like horror stories, so Scared to Death all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go peep that one. I haven't heard that one, so.
Oh, that's good stuff. It's run by a comedian named Dan Cummins. Great guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Nominate one person you'd like to see on this podcast.
One person I'd like to see on this podcast. Man, there's so many people that I know that I tell that they should get on podcasts and then they don't get on podcasts. I don't know, man. Go look up Campbell Myers. His name is Soup out of Kansas City, Kansas. Look up Soup. Good guy. Definitely. Great guy. Went to wrestling school with that dude. Love him. I'll put him over anywhere.
Definitely. I definitely know who I'm looking up next. And then last but not least, it's kind of funny you're like apologizing for this, but my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast, favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's tight. It's tight. Like I'm a fuck guy and then I'm a cunt guy. Like one of those two. Like I'm throwing it out there. Like I gotta be a heavy hitter with the F word or the C word, because it's like you're gonna get the pop. You're gonna get the reaction from that. Like someone might not listen to you if you're saying like shit, damn it. But when you say fuck or what a cunt, they know what you're doing. Like they're listening now. Like you got their attention because they're like, oh, you don't say that. What the hell? Like
I just did. What are you going to do about it?
Right, exactly.
All right, man. So that is it for the 10 count questions. So the last thing I need from you is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Where you can find me, wherever there's a ring and a dude willing to pay me to jump off of something, that's where you'll find me. EHF and GLWA for sure. You're going to find me there coming back in June. I've been taking a little bit of time off, nursing up a knee, taking care of my brain a little bit, trying to get on the right side of my mental health. But yeah, coming back in June, you'll start seeing me popping up on shows anywhere and everywhere I can get to. That's where you'll find me. As far as social media, you're only going to find me on Instagram and Twitter because I've been banned from Facebook. So, for being too damn pretty. That's going to be at Kyle Shaddix official pretty much anywhere you look for me.
Bet. Well, there you guys have it. So that's where you guys can find him. And then, this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And I'm your host, like I said, Clifford Red Dog Miller. And like I said, this is Now Entering the Ring. Wait, Kyle Shaddix, so you guys know what to do. So tune into the next episode and be there, or you just wait till this episode ends and the final trailer part goes on because the next episode is going to play. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Later. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.